Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks bringing you the daily Apple report for Friday, September 1st, 2023. Before I click through all the charts, as usual, I want to encourage you to please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. That's the most important. At wickedstocks.com, we put out a full suite of both daily and weekly analytical videos, just like the daily Apple report, daily analysis in the SPY and the Triple Q, weekly analysis in the S&P 500, the NASDAQ 100, and the long bond ETF, the TLT, as well as two individual stock picks a week that you never see on YouTube. 5 to 10 minute video format that cater to a 3 to 5 week swing trader out to the 3 to 5 month near term investor. We're always looking for 20% swings on those underlying stock picks. We put out 2 a week. This week alone, Netflix and Micron Technology. Both are very pertinent, very timely, testing key levels. There's an opportunity in both for you to see and for you to possibly take advantage of. So check out wickedstocks.com, sign up, and we offer a 5-day free trial. You can check out everything, including Netflix and Micron that we recently put out this week alone. And if you don't like what you see, within 5 days, you can bow out at no cost to you whatsoever. So here we are. Let's get on with the charts. We do have a long-term buy signal that's been in play for about 4 months. I think that was early May. We settled above this long-term channel top that is now at 168.50. At one point, not long ago, we were expecting a test of that channel top when we settled below this longer-term channel bottom. Longer term being in the context of that last chart I just showed you. This is more near term. This is a daily chart that only goes back to January. This channel bottom is now at 185.13, and we settled above it on Wednesday. We also settled above a descending 2/3 speed line the very same day at 185.47. So the 185.13 to 185.47 area, having settled above it, has indicated that we are not likely to see 168.50 anytime soon. And in fact, expecting, bullish continuation above that 185.47 speed line. Actually, I think I've got that reversed. It's 185.13 is the speed line. No, it's 185.47. Holding above this speed line will keep 208.01 as I'm going to say a 1 to 2 month target. Possibly by the end of September, but we could run into trouble on our way up. I don't think significant trouble, but certainly levels that can contain at least daily, if not weekly, buying pressures on the way up. But with respect to the point I am making, we are bullish through September above 185.13 to 185.47. This is an area that can absorb selling through next week, and above which that 198.23 all-time high is likely over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And by the end of October or sooner, this low 200 region, this long-term channel top at 208.01, likely by the end of October or sooner. Now, on the way up today, there is a mid-band of the same channel structure that is at 190.55 today, and it can perhaps contain daily buying pressures. It is in reach above 186.95. If you look to the far right, 186.95 is this former channel top that you can see here on the daily chart, rising on a daily basis. Decent support today, able to contain at least intraday selling pressures, and above which that 190.55, is that what it is? Yes, a channel bottom in reach where we can top out for the day. Now, if we close today above 190.55, that further fuels the rally as we move into next week. And I do think that under that scenario, we could, within 3 to 5 days perhaps, reach that 198.23 high from July, all-time high, where we could top out for a week. We may well double top in that vicinity. There was a lot going on there, as you can see. We congested. We traded in a very two-sided framework for over a week. 198.23 will be an important area. I'm going to call the upper 190s meaningful resistance near term, able to contain weekly buying pressures if or when tested. And I'm going to say that it is likely to be reached by the end of next week if we close today above 190.55. By the end of next week, the following, say, 3 to 5 days in reach of the upper 190s. Downside today, if we do break today below this 186.95 level, 185.47 is in reach. And that is, once again, the beginning of a zone, a range of support down to 185.13 that can absorb selling through next week. So if you're a 2 to 3 week out to a 1 to 2 month position trader, it is buying the 185 handle right now. 2 to 3 weeks expecting 198.23. And as I mentioned earlier, over the next, say, 5 to 8 weeks, 208.01. That's all true above 185.47. Now, if we do close today back below 185.13, this market is back on its heels, and I can't help but consider 168.50 then in reach within 2 to 3 weeks of closing below 185.13. So if we close below 185.13 and you reach for 198 calls or 210 calls, as I just mentioned, as your objective, I would suggest liquidating those out of the money calls for a small loss, and in turn, you may consider reaching for 168 or 169 out of the money puts that don't expire for at least a month. You may go a couple of months out on that to remove theta, the time decay element, from the equation. On the way down, let me see here. Now, this I don't expect to see today, but just know that if we close today below 185.13, we should see 182.13 on Monday. This is a level that might contain session weakness. I'm going to say it can contain today's session weakness, but if we close below 185.13, this gets reduced to an intraday support level early next week because, as I said, closing back below 185.13 does reverse momentum, and I would anticipate 168.50 as a 2 to 3 week target. I think that would be realistic, but that's not where we're at. Where we are at is having settled above the mid 180s resistance, now support just a couple of days ago, puts us in the bullish column as we move into later September, expecting 190.55 quite possibly today, and over the next 2 to 3 weeks, the 198.23 high from July, and over the next 5 to 8 weeks, I do think the low 200 area in reach. By the way, I didn't mention it earlier, but that settlement in early May above 168.50 does carry with it a 225.72 ultra long-term objective that I think is in reach earlier next year, Q1 perhaps. The deciding factor as to whether we'll see it sooner than later would be a settlement sooner than later above 208.01. Until then, this targeted channel top 5 to 8 week objective above 185.47 can contain monthly buying pressures, possibly on a quarterly basis. I'm going to leave it at that for Friday's Apple report. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com and check out those Netflix and Micron stock picks we put out this week. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's Apple report. You have a great weekend.